am live. Okay, it's 3 o'clock. I don't know. Okay, so I know. Well, this is funny. So if anybody tunes in, when anybody tunes in, I'll be looking up at the whatever. Oh, I'm gonna freak myself out with with the with the pointing and stuff. Um, Maybe Retro Road Husband could make sure that this is all working and chime in. Just checking. Um, so yeah, Retro Road Mappers. Maud Betty here at the Hacienda. And don't worry. I was touching my face. Uh, we'll see. It is 3 o'clock on the dot. I know I'm prompt, but I want to be prompt for everybody. Oh, we do have some people talk. So I see we've got some people chiming in. Yay, I see the little number in the corner there. If you are one of the people that is chiming in, thank you, little thumbs up guy. Anna, nice to see you. If anybody wants to write in the comments, I can see a few of you chiming in, and would love to know like what state you're chiming in from, because I was thinking that while I'm here and I am going to be the one doing the most talking, what I thought would be kind of cool too is if you all could somewhat like meet each other in the fact that maybe you don't even know it, but like your next door neighbor is talking or is a Retro Roadmap fan. So anyhow, yeah, welcome. Welcome to the Hacienda. You normally wouldn't see me doing videos from here, but in this crazy health scare time, Fran, thank you for chiming in from New York. In this health scare time, we decided here at the Hacienda to take advantage of, well, basically being housebound. And so Retro Road Husband has kindly decided or offered to paint my office, which was kind of a hot mess. So that's what's happening there. So I'm in the green, the living room of the Hacienda right now, posting. So, and it's St. Patrick's Day, so it makes sense. I even wore my green sweater. So, you know, I maybe look like a disembodied head because it's just the green in the background. But anyhow, lol, Anna, as the kids would say, she's chiming in from a state of confusion. Hey, Tom Ransom, I know what state you're in. Bummed we're not going to see you for a while, but better to be safe than sorry. Cool, Kim, nice to see you from Pennsylvania. Fran from New York. So, hey, we've got some good things. Oh, that's so cool. You live near Scott's. Can I just tell you, that was one of the best places we went last year, and I'm so sad that they are closed. But what a wonderful place that will hopefully be, you know, preserved by somebody who's got deep pockets. Hey, Melissa Carlson. Melissa, we were just talking about Scott's in Oquaga Lake in New York, where I know something very nice happened to you there. Erin Riley, nice to see you. Melissa, just so everybody knows, so we were talking about Scott's, which is the Catskills Resort that we did some stuff at last year, but more importantly, most people know about it because it was on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And the neat thing is I found out through some musical friends of ours that that was the place that they filmed it. We were able to stay, and I was able to tell people more about the actual location. And then Melissa Carlson, who is here watching right now, actually got engaged there last year. A very a surprise engagement done up retro style. So that was kind of a neat thing to be part of. So I realized, everybody, that I'm here and I'm probably, you know, I'm going to be kind of the only one talking with my mouth and maybe with my hands. But what I would really love to do is to kind of connect you all. And, you know, if you have any questions or you have any comments or anything, please look in, you know, please write stuff in the comments section, because you could hear me blab for a half an hour or more because YouTube will not let me do a live video, so I'm just going to continue this one past 3:30 if anybody, you know, is interested in hanging out. But I thought what we could do is, like, I could be the conduit, and, you know, you could ask a question for me, or, you know, if you've got questions for people who are chiming in. I would love to make this, even though I'm the only one who's on the screen right now, I would love to make this as interactive as possible. Because the whole reason I'm doing this is not just so you can see my face and, you know, the background or whatever. Oh my God, I just touched my face. In any case, I'm going to put my hands out here. Where are they? There we go. Okay. Uh, but is so we can all feel a little bit more connected during these times. Now, I will say I am used to being working from home and doing a lot of stuff independently ever since, I don't work in an office anymore. But I also know the importance of people connecting with people. I often say, like, if I did not like walk down to downtown Phoenixville and go and get a cup of tea or something at Steel City or go to the movies at the Colonial, that I always joke that I may end up being like a feral cat. So it's important for us all to kind of, just connect up during these times. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the comment section, or, any other things you want to maybe meet some other people. I know there's a bunch of people from Pennsylvania right now who have chimed in, but if you have just joined, Maud Betty chiming in from the Hacienda, and the sun is out, which is awesome. It was rainy this morning, and I heard it was actually snowy in Boston, where my family's from, on St. Patrick's Day. So what a world, what a world. In any case, so if you have any questions, you want to just chime in, use that comment section on the corner and just do that. So I thought, maybe we could talk about a few different things. So I was thinking we could talk about retro roadmappy places. I honestly was very excited to maybe have this time. I'm doing some spring cleaning, not only in the house, because that's one thing I'm doing to keep my mind off of, the health situation, but I am also looking to make sure that all of the places that I have online for Retro Roadmap are accurate. However, I'll be honest, with everything going on now, it's really hard to determine what is closed permanently and what's just closed because of the whole, as I said, of the whole situation. So that may take a hiatus. But one thing I am thinking of myself, and I want to, suggest this to you, or something to think about, is the places that we all love to go to, the retro roadmap worthy places, or maybe they're not even retro. Maybe you just love them. It could be a new business, like, for example, and I'm just name dropping because, well, why the heck not? But like, we have a bookstore here in Phoenixville called Reeds and Company. They just opened last year right on Bridge Street across from the Colonial, and they're a wonderful place. They have closed because of the health situation, but they're online. But they're a place that I think, oh crap, like, when all this goes over, like, this is a place that I definitely have to remember to support, because if we don't support these places, as I've said for all these years, they go away, and even more so. So this might be a time for all of us to spend a little bit of, some of these times, making a list of the places that are really important to you, to say, that's a place that I've been to, like the Roxy Theater in Northampton. I just got a Facebook message today that they are closed, and rightly so. They should be closed because nobody wants to get sick. But that's a place that I'm like, oh gosh, I should go there again soon. And heck, maybe we could all meet up there at some point, when it's safe for everybody to gather. So just different places like that where you've been and you want to go again, or places that you've never been and you're like, oh crap, I've always wanted to go to. I don't know why this one sticks in my mind, but I keep on saying, and maybe because I was looking at the map and I was like, I'm going to start from the east. Actually, it's funny, I've got a map over here. It's going to start in the east and go to the west, and I was starting in Maine, and I'm thinking, oh geez, you know what? I've never actually been to Moody's Diner in Maine. Like, I've heard about it, and it's been around for forever, so, like, that's going to go on my list. So if there's any place that you have been to that you want to recommend that everybody go to support, or perhaps there is a place that you've been like, crap, I always wanted to go to the Integratron in Joshua Tree. Why don't you put it in the comments, and maybe it will help spur some ideas of people. I actually just realized that there are more comments than I can see right now myself. Oh my God, here we go. Sorry, it was stuck on a thing. So, hey everybody. Larry Coltrera, nice to see you. You guys, Larry's a great diner guy from Massachusetts. If you want to know anything about diners in Mass or beyond, Larry's one of your guys. Cliff Hillis, thank you very much. Thank you, hon. Yeah, we're both working from home quite a bit now because both of us have had a bunch of gigs cancel. All good, though. Erin, I don't know how one gets a top fan status here. I really don't. I've been named a top fan from other things. Maybe just chiming in and stuff. We'll see. Anna Borg is from Northern California. Anybody else from Northern California? Chime in. She's here. Yay, Susan. Nice to see you. I thought of you when I went to Specs the other night. I think they might be closed for the moment, but always a good place to hang out. Oh, I see. Cliff Hillis is, yeah, now I'm getting up with you. Okay, now I'm going to shut up and I'm just going to look at the comments. So, okay, so Susan is saying, do you think we'll see a resurgence in drive-in movies this summer? This is a really interesting thing because I was thinking about this, and especially because to clue you in on what's going on behind the scenes with me and Retro Roadmap and just what I do, is my next book is kind of a self-help guide, like a road tripper's guide to self-help. And I call it Just Drive Your Life. And it makes you think that like your life, it's kind of think about your life as if you're behind the wheel. That's why I always say like don't let fear get behind the wheel and drive you into a ditch. But that being said, I was thinking about the fact that when you're in your car, and this is like when we're in our real cars, when you're in your car and I'm in my car, we're almost like 3 feet apart anyway. And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be weird if the only way we could all hang out is if we were all in our cars and then boom, drive-in movie theaters, that may be a good way for us all to get together in the summer again. Who knows? I would like to think that it might be a good thing, that the drive-ins, but frankly, a lot of the places we love are going to take a hit. So let's again support the places we love. But I think that idea of us staying in the car and maybe like, having somebody pass out the popcorn or something, that could be a cool thing. Jazz hands, yes. Rich Wilhelm. I'm all about the jazz hands contact. I think we got to do more of that. Or that, I can't, whatever. Melissa has always wondered, in my opinion, what are your 3 retro diners in Pennsylvania? Oh my God. I always say it's like picking out, picking out your favorite, well, I don't have kids, picking your favorite niece or nephew, which I refuse to do, or picking out the cutest puppy in the litter. Let me think for a second. So diners, you know what? Okay, the first one that comes to mind is the High Spire Diner in High Spire, Pennsylvania. It is right outside of Harrisburg, and it's a Silk City diner. Silk City diners are not just the place in Philly, but Silk City diners were made in Paterson, New Jersey. So I do love that one. And let me think of some others. I'll think about them, Melissa, and as they pop up, I will let you know. But that one's definitely a good one. Sue Morgan, nice to see you from Chester County. Yes, we are in lockdown here in Chester County, but that's okay because you know what? The more of us inside means the fewer people outside and the more people that stay healthy. So Julie Townsend, nice to see you. Sorry we missed you last week, but maybe soon, huh? Thomas, good to see you. Hey, Heather, thank you for the compliment on the color of the walls. I love color, which is so funny because, you can see my glasses and I'm wearing my green sweater because of St. Patrick's Day. Usually, even though I love color in my house, you'll often see me in the black t-shirt and a black hoodie and jeans, except for when I'm dressed up as Maud Betty and doing a presentation. But I do love this. This is one of my favorite colors, this kind of lime green. And you can't see, actually, you know what? Let me do this. If you look over there, and I'm just going to give you a smidge because the house is a mess because, as I mentioned, Retro Road Husband is painting my office because he's so awesome. So we've got crap all over the place back there from my office. But if you look in the other room, right there, that's what we call the tiki room, and that's bright orange. And those are like my 2 favorite colors. Who else? Patty Reeve, nice to see you. It was so lovely to be in Florida with you. Oh, Melissa went to Moody's. That's awesome. I saw some, that's awesome, Sue, that churches offering drive-up communion. I actually remember when I was researching drive-in movie theaters that they used to have people that give church services sometimes in some of the drive-in movie theaters, which I think is great because if you think about it too, sometimes they do them in regular movie theaters, so why not a drive-in? I think that's great. Yes, thank you, Larry. Props, because I keep on getting so we were talking about vintage diners, and Melissa Carlson wanted to know my top 3 diners in PA, and Larry Coltrera from Massachusetts, diner guy extraordinaire, has rightly reminded me of the Village Diner in Milford, PA. And the reason I get that confused is because Milford is up in like the northeast. I'm backwards here. So it's like in the northeast corner of Pennsylvania, where Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York literally, like, there's probably a little marker there that happens. But the Village Diner is an awesome place. Maria, who runs it, is an absolute doll. We had a Retro Roadmap meetup there. I think it was like last spring, summer. I don't know. Time's flying. But we did that, and we did that actually. So we did our Retro Roadmap meetup at that fabulous, wonderful vintage diner. Not only is it vintage inside and out, but they run that place with such heart and such love in that you just want to go and eat all your meals there. So yes, the Village Diner. And Larry, if you can think of any, or anybody else have a vintage diner in Pennsylvania that you would recommend to Melissa? Oh, I know of one, and we don't have to stop at 3. What's that one that we went to? The Wellsboro Diner. I can't remember if it's the actual, picturing it in my head. I could probably Google it, but there's a diner in Wellsboro, PA. Now, Wellsboro is really north, almost to the New York border, like straight up from Harrisburg. Adorable little downtown. We went there last year for my birthday because many people had been saying for years, "My Betty, you have to go to Wellsboro. It's a great place." And I was like, yes, I should. And then even me, like I'm always saying to people, go to places, right? So I say this to people, and yet sometimes I don't do it myself. So we did go to Wellsboro, and I'm trying to picture the name of it. I'm just going to call it the Wellsboro Diner. I'm not 100% sure if that's the name of it, but oh my gosh, it's cool. It's cool. Not only is it a beautifully preserved vintage diner, I think it's made by the Sterling Diner Company, which I'm not too familiar with, but absolutely beautiful inside and out. And oh my God, they had like the best sticky buns ever. I can't, like even right now, I'm getting distracted about talking because it was such a good sticky bun when we were there. Okay, it is the Wellsboro. Yes. Oh, yes. And the Red Rose has sadly closed, which is a bummer. And Alyssa, hey, nice to see you. So Alyssa is not only a member of the Society for Commercial Archaeology, which maybe some of you guys are, but she's also a local Phoenixvillian. And when all the health scare is over, we're working on a little project together, which I'd be excited to show you guys. And Daddy Pops. Yeah, Daddy Pops Diner in Hatboro. That is in the Retro Roadmap book of the Philadelphia suburbs. Actually, I just saw somebody today call them the collar counties because it's kind of, they form a collar around PA, but I mean Philly. But I digress. Daddy Pop's Diner in Hatboro, authentic vintage diner, great inside, and it's just like kind of like one of those nice old school New England diners. Not the big, not that there's not a place for the big, New Jersey diners, but I love that one. Yes, that one. Okay, Wellsboro's on the list. See, I knew Larry Coltrera would know that Sterling was Merrimack, J.B. Judkins of Merrimack, Massachusetts. Okay, okay. Dawn, nice to see you. Thank you for being socially distant. I appreciate that. Actually, Retro Road Husband and I have actually been somewhat self-quarantining because we were in Florida last week. Actually, last week and some of the week before, and we were in Epcot Center. Excuse me. And what am I trying to say? Yeah, we were surrounded. We washed our hands. I mean, we were like, oh, I get a funny hand washing story. But first, so we were surrounded by thousands of people that at the time they were saying this thing wasn't as huge a deal as it is now. So just to be safe, not for us, but for everybody else, on the off chance that we were getting some germs, we decided to just kind of stay inside. Now, despite the fact that you see me on videos and I'm talking right now live on the Facebook, I am at my most comfortable when I'm somewhat introverting, as the kids call it. So this is fine with me. I'm used to being kind of nesting and stuff. I'm doing all sorts of random things around the house. But the reason I wanted to do this was also so everybody else who's hanging out at their own house going like, okay, what do I do? That, maybe this would help people get together. So here's my funny hand washing story. So it's not a story really, but have you seen this meme where they make the poster about washing your hands, and it's to a song you may like or whatnot? So I realized last night that I was singing, so I'm trying out all different ones, and we could almost make, I have two songs, and if anybody knows any more songs by Roger Miller, and not Roger Miller from Mission of Burma or Bird Songs of the Mesozoic, but Roger Miller, so because I was washing my hands going, trailers for sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents. So you can do 20 seconds of King of the Road, gets you to a right nice stop to where you're washing your hands. And then also, this is the one that I like because there's nothing wrong with being King of the Road. I was going to write it as if I was Queen of the Road. But you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. Does anybody besides me know this song? If you do, maybe you can, I don't know, hit the little thumbs up button or something so I don't feel like the total geek I am. But if you don't know it, that's cool because I know it. And so it's a song by Roger Miller. It's called You Can't Roller Skate in a Buffalo Herd. And I won't sing the whole thing, but you can do 20 seconds of it while you're washing your hands. And I love the fact that you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. I don't sing well. You can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. Oh, you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. But you can be happy if you have a mind to. All you gotta do is put your mind to it. Knuckle down, buckle down, do it, do it, do it. Oh, you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. Can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. Oh, you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd. But you can be happy if you have a mind to. Because that's the part I like. There's also, you can't change film with a kid on your back. That type of thing. So, I am glad. Kristen Nyberg, nice to see you. I am so glad that I have King of the Road stuck in your head because maybe you will know that you can sing it along when you're washing your hands there. And Stacy, I'm so glad you know that too. Actually, here's a neat thing, and I gotta research Roger Miller more. But on my Route 66 tour this past summer, we went through this town, and I admit I'm totally blanking on the name of it, but it was on Route 66. I want to call it Eric, maybe? Anyhow, it was one of those sad little towns where things had, Route 66 had gone through, and then the highway goes by, and it gets all sad, and many places are closed. But there was the Historical Society was open there, and we looked at different things about the history of that town, and come to find out that it was Roger Miller's, the birthplace of Roger Miller. So I've kind of had this Roger Miller thing going on, which again, if you're singing things like King of the Road and you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd, you're okay in my book. So that's my hand washing thing. What else did I have to do? So I can keep on talking, and I will totally do that. And if anybody has any questions, as I said, please put them in the comments. I'm trying to catch up on all of them. And I'll be honest, this whole live video thing is a little bit new for me. Some of you know Retro Road Husband, who is also a musician named Cliff Hillis, and he does a lot of these where he's like playing his guitar. There you go. And singing and stuff, but I don't often do these. So I just thought it would be cool to kind of gather people together like on a random afternoon when things are kind of crazy outside the walls there. But here, in the Hacienda, things are bright and colorful, and, we can all talk about just about anything. So let's see. Here, we could talk about road food. We could, actually, I have like a copy. I've got multiple copies of the book Road Food, but I'm using that more as a non-trademarked noun than a trademark. But that is a great book from, exactly, Trailers for Sale and Rent. Yes, I know, I was totally going down the Roger Miller. Craig Nye, nice to see you. Thank you for chiming in, and I'm so glad that you're also another Pennsylvania person from here. So anyhow, what I was thinking of is if anybody's interested in, posting anything in the comments. We could talk about your favorite things to eat on the road. I think we would be literally online here for days if I started listing the foods that I love that you can only get in certain places. I can easily list one that I don't like, which is Scrapple. Retro Road Husband likes Scrapple, and as some of you may have heard me mention, first time I actually saw Scrapple. First time I actually saw Scrapple was at Jenny's Diner on Route 30 in Ronks, PA, which is right outside of Lancaster. We were coming home from a gig wicked late at night back in the day when we still lived in Delaware. And Jenny's was a vintage diner open 24 hours a day. It's still there. It's called the Route 30 Diner, and it's still there. It's for sale or rent, like a Roger Miller reference. But in any case, Retro Road Husband ordered Scrapple. And I had never heard of it, never seen it, but I'm like, yeah, whatever. So we're sitting there at the counter, and I'll never forget this. The woman takes the plate, and she's, handing stuff down, and she puts down maybe a saucer-sized plate. And on it looks something to me like a black burned kitchen sponge. And I'm like, what is that? And yeah, that was Scrapple. And so I look at it, and I'm like, ooh. And then Cliff looks at it and is like, ooh, like this is what I'm looking for. So those are the types of things we see. Donna Wilhelm, yes, I know Scrapple is totally like a Delaware, like Southeast Philly, or not Philly, Southeast Pennsylvania type thing, at a great diner. Actually, where were we? We were in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware last summer before. Scrapple fries, people. Scrapple fries are a thing. Yeah. You cut up the Scrapple, it's like a loaf, and you just cut it up and you deep fry it, and no, didn't even like it in the fry thing. Susan, not a Scrapple fan. Eat a mess of pressed tongue loaf. Have fun with that. Yeah, that sounds kind of... Well, here's the funny thing. That sounds gross to me, and yet I have no problem with, Underwood deviled ham, like comes in the can with a little devil on it. I'm cool with that. I mean, as soon as you peel off that like layer of schmutz on the top of it. Yeah, like many things, don't think about what's in it. You're so right. You're so right about don't even think about the ingredients. Pork roll fries, William Lynch. I have never heard of pork roll fries, but that sounds really good. Maria, I'm always stumbling on your middle name, so I'm just gonna say Maria Wall. So everybody, we've got somebody famous who just joined in, and I'm going to sing her praises because this is what I love to do. That's the kind of singing I do well, is singing the praises of people like Maria. So Maria is actually the owner of the Village Diner. I was just talking about the Village Diner earlier. So the Village Diner in Milford, PA. Somebody asked me what are my favorite PA diners, and Larry Caltrera, who may still be online right now, in the comment section, Larry reminded me of the Village Diner in Milford. And Maria, I was just saying, and I'll reiterate it again for anybody else who has chimed in since then, but what a lovely, authentic vintage diner that you have, how you keep it so sparkling clean, but that you also run it with such heart and love for your food and the people who work there and your customers, that it's just a treat to go to. So I'm thinking you may be closed during this, and I'm not sure what your situation, but I will say to everybody who has chimed in today, you know what? Please check out the Village Diner when the dust clears and you get so like housebound that you need to get on the road. Please just head to Milford. And yes, it's got a great vintage neon sign that they keep in good repair. See, they love it so much they're not pitching it for like some backlit plastic things. And they just have, a wonderful neon sign. You can see the place off of the highway. It's just outside of, I guess, downtown Milford. Downtown Milford is actually really cute. There's a little kind of boutique hotel there. Just kind of an old house that's been, I don't want to say hipsterified, but it's kind of got an upscale type place where you can get a cocktail there. We went there after we did our Retro Roadmap meetup with the folks from Velveteen Lounge Kitchen. that was a lot of fun. So Milford, PA, definitely go to the Village Diner and scope out that place. Um, so yeah, so I just as I mentioned at the top of the hour, as we used to say in the college radio biz, Maud Betty checking in from the Hacienda. Behind me, you're seeing the Hacienda living room, mainly because my office is being painted, not technically right now, because I think Retro Robed Husband is in the other room making comments on the Facebook page. But in any case, I'm here just to kind of connect everybody else. You know what? We're all kind of alone, but we're all kind of together, because I love looking at the fact that, like, Lisa Schaefer just joined in. Last time, I think one of the last times we saw Lisa Schaefer, who is an excellent photographer. We were wrapped in bathrobes over our bathing suits because we were spending Schwitzmas at the Turkish baths in Southampton, PA, because why not? That was wicked fun. Ooh, apple pie in a custard vanilla sauce. The Melrose Diner does that. I will have to check that out, because that sounds really good to me. Yes. Okay. So just as a quick update, Maria just put in the comment section, if you guys hadn't seen, they are not closed, but they're only to serve takeout and delivery. Now, a lot of the places near us, and thank you, Maria, for letting us know that, here in Phoenixville, many of the places, the restaurants and things that we love are kind of on the same schedule, where you've got delivery or takeout. You can't sit there. So that may be one way we can still support the places we love while we're kind of on a bit of a, I don't know exactly the what am I going to say? The official definition of lockdown is, but since we're all kind of a little bit more housebound than we used to, that could be a good way for us to support the places we love. But in the meantime, what I was going to say is, and you know, show of hands or likes or whatever, thumbs ups is I was going to stop this at 3:30 and go over to YouTube. But then YouTube, it was like, yeah, you don't have enough friends over here, so you can't do a live video, which frankly was fine with me because all my friends here are on Facebook. So I can go for a few minutes longer. If anybody has any questions or, you know, things they've always wondered about, like Maud Betty, well, nothing, you know, keep it nice. But, you know, or places to go, or, you know, things to do while the, oh, I knew what I was going to do. While the contagious-y thing is happening. I don't even know what to call it. Like, it doesn't have a good catchphrase yet. I'm sticking close to home. As I said, Cliff and I were in Florida. We don't want to get anybody else sick. I don't think we're sick. We feel totally fine, but we have been keeping close to home. And some of the things that we have been doing to occupy our time are things that, you know, I bet you guys would do too. So we've been listening to records. So we've had a turntable for years. And so we've decided to, I'm looking here, and it's not like I feel like it's going to be a sales pitch, but so we've been, I can't even see, yeah, there we go. So like what I'm doing is I'm reaching into our record collection and throwing on random records while we're puttering around the house. This one's actually a good one. This is the original. I love fake Beatles music. I love Beatles music, and I love fake Beatles music too. This is the George Martin version, so this was really good. So I was dancing around the house to that. What else? Read a book. I love reading. It's like my favorite sport, really. And one I just started, I thought I would share with you. It seems really interesting so far. Here, hold on. Recommended by Rick Seaback from WQED. Some of you may know him from the specials he has done throughout the years, like Sandwiches You Will Like and Amusement Parks of America. I'm probably, you know, what am I going to say, stumbling and bumbling along the words, but he's got some great things. He's been such an inspiration to me, retro roadmap-wise, for years, and so when I got a call from him a couple of weeks ago, I was like, Rick Seaback's on the phone for me. Alyssa's saying, can we organize a retro roadmap flash mob at our favorite places once this goes back to normal? And I say a hearty yes, ma'am. Let's do that, because they're going to need our love and our money. Calories be damned. I'll be gladly wearing the sweatpants. Well, no, not sweatpants. Maybe the yoga pants. But I will definitely take a pound or 5 to help some of our places that we love so much get back, to get back on their feet. Because think about it, like they're not making any money. The people who work there aren't making any money. Like, it's just going to be it's kind of a weird time to be in. I'm not going to lie to you, but I think we need to I think the best thing to do is just focus on the positive things that we're going to do once this kind of is over in any way it is, and to really come out better people after it, because we've been reminded about how we take for granted the connection that we have and how much the little things we can do affect other people. I said to somebody the other day, I said I feel a bit like a little bit of that George Bailey action, where you don't realize how many people you know until you can't get in touch with them and things. Yes, sandwiches you were like. Thank you, Donna, for answering Dawn. So Dawn asked Donna. Dawn asked Maud Betty what my favorite places to eat are in here in Phoenixville. And while I was gabbing, Donna Fisher Wilhelm was so nice to respond and say the Foodery in El Burrito, which I highly recommend. I like them too. I will say that Vecchia Pizza is always like a special treat, so I love that. Very simple pizzas, totally dig them. You really can't go wrong with Phoenixville food. What is it? The Three Brothers, I think, just opened up where the Chinese food place used to be. Really good Mexican food. I have a soft spot for the Bistro on Bridge. That they've got these risotto balls that are kind of like a belly bomb, but I love those. And the way they redid that whole building is just amazing. They literally like blew the roof off of it and made a roof deck, which is kind of cool. Sage has, we've been wanting to try out Sage for the baba ganoush. Oh, and you know what's funny? So here's a little bit of a rabbit hole thing, but bear with me because it's so kind of like local businessy thing. Is that Alyssa just posted about baba ganoush, but we have a place in Phoenixville called Baba's Brew that makes kombucha, and I tried it, and it sounds like it's kind of scary, but it's actually pretty tasty. And then lo and behold, I find out that my friend Kiki, who lives in New Jersey, it's her favorite type of kombucha. So it's kind of neat that it's something that's made here in Phoenixville that people from at least 2 states are really into. But that was me all digressing and stuff like that. What I was going to show you was the book that I am... How do we do this? Yeah. So the book that I'm reading that Rick Seaback mentioned to me. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this thing. Called Overground Railroad. And it's the history of the Green Book. And it's really cool. I've literally... I don't want to be like, oh, I just got into it and it's really good. Like, I'm way into Jesus. Sorry. I'm giving myself like I'm giving myself like, oh, it's an inside joke to me, whatever. But the thing I like about it too, I just wanted to point this out. This looks like your regular kind of lots of words kind of book, but check this out. Okay. Like it's like designed very interestingly. There's like, oh, maybe just because I have pictures in it and stuff, but it's not all like dense text. It weighs a ton, but it's really very it's very interesting, and so this is what I'm reading while we're kind of here on lockdown. And, another book, just really quickly, and I'm not going to bore you, but seriously, these are just some things that I'm doing. So what did I do yesterday that was unusual because we were on lockdown? I did some ironing. I ironed some, we're trying to be a little bit more green, so we have cloth napkins that I bought, and so I actually ironed them while I was listening to Dave Brubeck, because I was pulling out the records, and I was just like, okay, if I'm not like some like early 1960s housewife in action happening, but I find ironing, don't send your ironing to me, people, but I do find ironing somewhat zen. You take something that was wrinkly and you iron it, and then it's not wrinkly anymore. Namaste. Anyhow, so I am another book that and actually this is going to be another shout out, Furious Hours by Casey Sepp. I got this from Reeds and Company here in Phoenixville, and it was cool enough that they had this book. It's so interesting, and it's all about what Harper Lee did. So Harper Lee wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. and allegedly that was the only book she ever wrote, but she wrote others. And this is all about what she did after To Kill a Mockingbird. And this is a really interesting, fascinating book. I got it at Reeds and Company here in Phoenixville. Sorry, I'm kind of stuttering on my words. And the neat thing is that they did a thing with the Colonial where they showed It's a Wonderful Life. No, they didn't show they do show It's a Wonderful Life. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the book in here. They do show It's a Wonderful Life. But they showed To Kill a Mockingbird, and then they had an interview with Casey, and then she signed the books too. So that's the kind of thing that you don't get when you buy your books on Amazon, just saying. And I probably just screwed my, chances of Amazon digging me or whatever. Yeah, so excellent. Donna, you'll really dig this. Rich Wilhelm just joined. So Rich Wilhelm, jazz hands. He makes great notebooks out of old record covers. Record covers. Oh, this is another one I was listening to. Here, Walter Wanderley. I know I should be listening to Irish music, but I was listening to Brazilian music instead because it's green, close enough. But Rich makes some really great notebooks. I think they're called Rich's Really. Are they called Rich's Really Great Notebooks? He makes those out of old record covers, and I've got a bunch of them around here because I still like to write the old-fashioned way. And he's another Phoenixvillian. And what else? What else can we talk about here, people? Here's one. So I'm not about to tell you what to do with your own free time, but again, it's kind of an unusual fact. It's like a snow day, a really weird snow day for all of us across the states. And so, to me, it's like, what do I want time? Yes, thank you, Cliff Hillis, for putting the link to Rich's really cool notebook in the comments. If anybody wants a really cool notebook from Rich, it's really cool. Comments are in there. So, here's what I've done, and it may sound silly to you, but bear with me. You know what? Like, life is short, and we never know when it's going to end, and I'm not going to get all down like that. But what I'm going to say is, what I decided to do during this time to myself is I'm going to take this says phone book, but it's so old, it's one you used to have like a phone book, but this is my address book, mainly for Christmas cards and stuff. And I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go through that, and every day I'm just going to reach out to people that I probably don't get in touch with a lot. And I'm just going to send them a little, like it's a text or an email. I don't like talking on the phone, so it's probably not going to be a phone call. But I thought, what better time to reach out to people you know and just say, hey, I was thinking about you and I hope that you're okay. Letting them know we're fine. But just, kind of connecting with people. Again, once we're not face to face, we all could be just a mile away from each other or tens of thousands of miles away from each other. It's all kind of relative. But why not use this opportunity to get in touch with some people you haven't talked to in a while? So that's what I'm doing every day. And also the other thing I'm doing too is, and I know this sounds a little bit goofy, but that's who I am, is if for whatever reason somebody comes into my head, I think, you know what, I'm going to reach out to them. Like, for example, this morning, I got an email notification that somebody sent me a tweet. See, I don't even use Twitter that much, so I don't even know what to call it. And this person, and it looked like their page had been spammed. So I thought, what a perfect opportunity to get in touch with Mark Eichelberger and say, hey, man, I haven't heard, I just wanted to touch base and make sure you and Bill are okay during this time. But I also am only reaching out to you, not only, but I was prompted to reach out to you because I think your Twitter account might have been hacked. And then the neat thing is that later on today on Facebook, he posted a really cool version of Gladys Knight and the Pips song that I had referenced earlier. So any of those little things that, like, the universe gives you clues to what to do, like, reach out to those people you went to Morocco with and just make sure everybody in Australia is okay. It's just a phone. Here, I'm doing this. Like, it's just typing. Like, just get in touch with people because, the more connected we are, the things are. So anyhow, I think that was probably all I've got at the moment. But I hope this actually distracted you all from whatever's going on. Maybe gave you some ideas of some diners to visit, or ideas to do when you are, kind of home alone. I don't know if you have a postcard collection that you need to organize, but I know I do. I've got books galore that I can either, read or reorganize. I so love to organize stuff, guys. It's not even funny. And I think that's wonderful that Chris Wilhelm has been walking around downtown with his camera and capturing what the town looks like. That's such an awesome thing. It was such like a, what do I want to say? Almost, what's that? Oh, crap. The movie with the guys, you dirty apes, and whoa, what'd you do? And there's a statue. Thank you. Planet of the Apes. It was like a Planet of the Apes kind of moment, almost, like really light, like Planet of the Monkeys. When we were driving through Phoenixville today, or yesterday, and saw that it had on the marquee of the Colonial, like, we're closed, be safe. And it was just like, wow, this is like a just different time for all of us. And so I'm hoping that this video chat or whatever maybe helped you, distracted you, and I would love to do it again. If people are interested in me doing this, it's a bit awkward for me. I'm still learning it, but if you want me to be here, I'm honest. I will be here for you. I love to connect people. I think it's so important that we remain kind of sane and calm and human during all this craziness across the globe. Speaking of across the globe, Charles Gray, I know you're chiming in from across the globe, so thank you for chiming in. But I would be more than happy to do this, yeah. And if this time works for you guys, I think it's kind of a good time for me. Maybe on Thursday. I know today some of us might want to go get a pint or, I don't know, sit in the garage and have, I don't even know how you, like, do the St. Pat's thing alone. Well, of course I do. You're Irish. You drink alone, and then you get, you put on some sad music and you cry, and then you get mad at somebody. Anyhow, that's probably what's going to happen tonight. But if you would like me to do this again, and it sounds like some people do, and I will totally do this. So how about this? For everybody who's still listening and who's on the comments, I will do this again. I'm thinking 3 o'clock in the afternoon seems good, but if you reach out to me and want to do some other times, I can do that too. I don't want to do it every day because then you get bored of me, and then you'll be like, oh, her again. But how about on Thursday? Thursday the 19th, in a couple of days, 3 o'clock to 4. I will just sign on, and who knows? It may be from here. It may be, no, it'll probably still be from here because my office is being painted. I don't know if some of you people just heard, but yes, virtual beers. I mean, I was actually going to have like a little something here, and then I realized it would send the wrong message, so I'm going to wait until I'm off the camera to have a beer, and probably till after 5. Mark Eichelberger, I like willed you to join in. This is so awesome. I'm trying, so Mark is the guy I was saying about connecting with people for, like, when the universe whispers somebody's name in your ear and you say to reach out to them. I reached out to Mark today because I didn't think he was going to tweet me that there were all sorts of designer sunglasses that were for sale. And so I thought, well, maybe there would be another way he'd tell me about the sunglasses, and maybe his Twitter account had been hacked. But I used that as an excuse to get in touch with him, because sometimes we all just need that little push to get in touch with people that we know and we care about. And let's use this crazy time as a push to do that. Because you know what? It's like a nudge. It's not like it's like, go do the right thing. And we just need a little push. And that's when I got in touch with Mark. And then we were both grooving over the fact that we love, I'm too strong not to keep on keeping on. Gladys Knight. And that's what I'm going to do. You guys, I won't videotape it, but here, I don't want to say challenge you. So I posted a video of Gladys Knight and the Pips doing, got to use my imagination, we're too strong not to keep, and the Pips, they've got some moves. As people know, I love the line dancing. I do. I'm totally teaching line dancing at the Philadelphia Museum of Neon Art, or whatever it's going to be called in Philly. But I'm gonna learn some of those Pips moves during this quarantine time, because why not? So I'm gonna learn how to dance like one of the Pips. I'm going to continue to organize my postcard collection. And how about this? As I sign off, but now that we look forward to being together on Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I will also think of some other things to talk about. Oh my God, I feel like I'm almost channeling Mr. Rogers, you know? You'll have things you want to talk about. I will too. So think about some things that you want to talk about on Thursday, and we will continue this conversation. And Mark, I know you just tuned in, but I promise to work on my pips moves between now and then, and I don't know, maybe I'll show you guys. Okay, so thank you so much for tuning in. My Betty needing to come up with some sort of sign-off catchphrase, but until then, just stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you soon, okay? Again, catchphrase, hasta la vista, baby, namaste. Good night.